On the road to TI, it is about that time of the year where some of these newer teams need to start turning up. And both Team and TNC have begun to turn a corner. I think both TNC, we casted them together at WESG, where they had both SamH as well as AU standing in for them. They ended up making a roster change. It looks like it's looking better for them with AU joining the team and taking up part of the captaining of TNC. Meanwhile, Team, with their recent roster change and being able to pull in Eternal Envy, now here in the upper bracket of the GSL, and also being able to qualify for the major, it seems like they have begun to make that run upwards in the brackets.
For sure.
Running to TI.
Also, shout out to Phil. I said this cast was for him. Also,
this cast is for him?
Yeah, this one's for him.
Oh, so this is the bad cast.
Yeah, did you see
the throwaway one?
teams, like their jerseys?
Yeah.
They look like the dudes that like work out at like the Cobra Kai gym. I can't just...
The red shirt, just throw it onto a Sharpie team.
Dude, they don't have arm sleeves.
Yeah.
They're just tank tops that they wore undershirts, like that style in the 90s.
They couldn't afford the sleeves.
Apparently, I asked Brax about it. I was like, "How come you and Nusham are the only ones with them on?" He's like, "Everyone else threw theirs away at the minor." That's not loyalty to the team. I'd love to see IX Mike with the guns in those.
Yeah.
I do think it is a very good Invoker game, by the way. I historically really like Invoker versus heroes like Necro, where you're going to counter a large part of their toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to like get on top of this hero with the heroes that they currently have. Morphing into Invoker is pretty irrelevant.
Yeah.
Plus, Sunstrike is really nice against the Morphling. If you have like any sort of setup, so for example, like you roll in with the Earth Spirit into the stun, and you can just Sunstrike him when he's at like that 800 HP mark, I think that's really important. I think the downside of it is the laning phase theoretically should be really rough for you.
Is this a pretty dominant Morphling matchup?
I have yet to see Morphling lose like any lane matchup in like some time. It feels annoying.
Oh, an early roll in. It looks like we're going to start out with the defensive tri-lane for Team as they're going to beat back Cuckoo. This has been a trend a lot lately, that one team will try and go for dual lanes, and then the other team will start off with a tri-lane.
Yeah,
now
Brax at top.
As a result, Brax is going to be taking a lot of damage in top lane. He isn't going to be dying here. He does get maxed out retaliate stacks.
Can I ask the question about going for like these max tangos over going for like a salve or something?
Yeah,
like
healing
that?
salve.
Yeah, I imagine he goes the double stout because he has inclinations to pulling the next wave, like creep skipping.
Yeah.
But what is the, I guess it's similar to the idea behind the 2 stacks of tangos?
Yeah, I mean, it's just gold to HP efficiency, right? It's always favorable for tangos. So if you're cutting creep waves, you're naturally just eating tangos all the time.
I see.
Like, I've tried this a couple times, and whenever I'm like doing active combat against like a dual lane or something like that, I want the healing salve. That way I'm not gone from lane for very often. But when you're cutting creep waves, like when do you leave the lane? The lane is wherever you are.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, can't you salve under creeps and stuff like that? Or is it just because the support usually...
I mean, it's usually the support. Like, the support has nothing else to do at that point in time, so all he does is just sit there.
There's no pull for him anymore.
Yeah, there's no pull for him. It's like he either does that or, Brax trying to get a kill on AU, but instead he will be the one to die. That's going to be your first blood for Armel.
Very nearly had that one, though. Team, though, at the very least, because of the nature of their lineup and the fact that they're NA Dota, will always have very... let's say entertaining games. That's the polite way to put this for all you fans. I mean, that last series was
would this be the same if they didn't have Eternal Envy on the team?
No.
Because at least 90% of it has to do with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Oh, look at top. So this is exactly what he was going for. This is where my prefaced conversation...
To be honest, I was a little bit surprised when he even started off in the lane at all. Maybe he just initially did that to disguise the fact that Nusham, but
he's definitely dead.
Maybe dying here. The Fate Bolt's going to slow down some of the damage, but there is always that Mist Coil to come in. Man, Mist Coil is such a good ability.
Part of it too, by the way, the reason why they're deciding to tri-lane down here, guys, is because this Earth Spirit is not going to make Brax's life any easier at top. He probably changes absolutely nothing in this laning phase. And if that's the case, like, why bother?
Mike in trouble. He will die, but maybe Tim's going to go down as he's already been slowed down a couple times. Envy should be able to get... Oh, there's Sunstrike. Oh, Tim's actually managed to dodge that one and gives him even the chat wheel. He'll still die to Eternal Envy, but really important he doesn't give away that kill to Gunnar, who...
Get mid now. That actually wastes the majority of Gunnar's mana.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Brax being chased down by Armel. Now, every single time we see this, yeah, he's probably going to die, but at the same time, it's still dragging Armel away from the creep wave. He's missing out on CS. He's definitely missing out on gold. Possibly misses out on some experience.
This mid wave is pretty brutal, by the way. You're already up to 10 denies as Gabby.
Yeah.
It's just kind of what you expect. The problem with Invoker is that, like, you'll always see when he decides to use the Sunstrike. And he doesn't really, with low levels, he doesn't have that, like, instant gotcha burst damage.
Yeah.
Also, he knows that no one's going to gank him. Like, the Earth Spirit, I don't think goes mid. Because I think the odds of getting a kill there are quite low.
Right.
So it just puts you in a really odd position as Gabby. Don't fight him.
Another roll in. Cuckoo almost gets bursted down immediately. Does manage to get off the heal, but is not going to survive for very long here. This is got to be one of the downsides. I mean, he does not have Ghost Trap on the Necro, right?
I just don't really love things like Necro offlane.
Yeah.
As Gunnar's going to get into this fight with Gabby, who's got a DD rune. He should die here.
Yeah, he could just keep morphing into strength if necessary. If Gunnar tries to fight him, and if Gunnar tries to run away, well, that's not going to work for him. Ike's Mike does come in just to be able to soak some of the experience.
They might get the kill here, though.
Land the stun here. Oh, they actually managed to kill the Morphling. Wow, that is surprising. We're going to follow Brax, though, as he's going to die. He dragged Armel all the way back to the tier 2, but again, is still dying.
Now I don't know how much it's worth.
Yeah.
Did you see mid? So Morph was fully morphed out into strength, and he only had 100 HP. So what Mike did is he sent the Forge Spirit, Gunnar microed the Forge Spirit with the Photic Shield on him. Suicided the Forge Spirit in, and it just killed him because, I mean, he was one-shotable at that point. And then he just finished him off with the Mistcoil. So well done to at least get, at minimum, the trade. And that's actually pretty big for the Abaddon. Like, that almost props Mike up to level 4. Which means all this time being spent bottom as the Sunstrike. He needs this kill on Gunnar. He is going to get it as Tim's might even be the follow-up here. As Envy's starting to get a little bit low. AU is down here. The shield's going to break. 13 HP Envy's going to end up with as they're still on the chase for Tim's, but Ike's Mike going to back it up. Maybe even suicide. No!
Ooh, AU read that perfectly. That was right on the cusp of being able to, you know, you're never quite certain as the Oracle
Envy,
whether or not this is going to kill him or not.
He got his salve broken too at the same time. Not like this.
Well, at least he's got his ever faithful IX Mike to just roll back up in lane and just miscoil him over and over again. AU is going to run into Nushim here, who has a haste rune, but doesn't look like any kills are going to come of it.
I mean, the plus side is that Brax has more levels by like a full level over Cuckoo, who, you know, you're doing this 1-0-2 build, but you probably would have survived at least one of those engagements if you had a level of Ghost Shroud. This is more of a laning thing to go for the Heartstopper aura.
You think he should have gone like 1-1-1?
I mean, I can see why he decided to go for it, but at the same time, like, the Rubik's not going to secure UCS against a tri-lane, and you sort of have to anticipate that tri-lane is mid, they're collapsing. This should be 100% a kill.
Oh, look at this. He's actually going to throw the Purge onto Tim's, and Tim's just going to go into melee range of the Invoker. Meanwhile, bottom lane is going to be dope, though. Cuckoo is going to die again and again and again.
I mean, for every death that Brax has, Cuckoo's got the same.
Yeah.
Good news, though, for TNC is that they were able to grab the tier 1 tower up at top lane. By taking that, it makes Armel's game a lot easier. As you see, he's going to go onto Brax for the 4th time now. This should almost certainly be a kill on him as stack number 3 does dodge that, though.
Going to turn and fight the Monkey King, see if they can potentially get the kill. Not going to happen. Armel gets the stacks and will probably go up to full HP.
Come on, man.
As a result.
Still had that boundless strike the entire time.
apparently there's just not a whole lot of Abaddon spammers. You see that? 72 games on Go Black, 40 on PPD. IX Mike already.
There's a reason for that. It's like, by the time you've played your 30th Abaddon game, you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Is under attack.
It also helps that IX Mike probably played some off-lane Abaddon.
Yeah.
And then
You enjoy
now
playing
is
Abaddon?
playing support Abaddon.
Do not.
I actually do. I like playing the hero a lot. I mean, you could just go in, you know? No hero can go in like Abaddon can go in.
So your opinion's wrong. It's like, oh, hold that thought. As in mid lane they go in. It's like if you tell me like straight up you main Wraith King, it's like
No. Okay. Let's put it this way. Do you like defensive supports? We're gonna match IX
lane.
Mike. He's very dead here unless the Stampede can somehow get him out, but Armel is gonna be able to bring him down. No. I'm just saying, like, Cuckoo.
oh,
Oh, they're gonna nail him underneath the tower too. Oh, they actually almost cut down the tree that Armel was standing
would've
on
been
as
massive.
well. That would have been so big, but
okay, Gunnar make his rotation down here. I think he feels so just like he has nothing to do in this mid lane
yeah.
that it's like you have this inclination to just move around the map, like try to gank.
You see that a lot from Gunnar. I think he's got this philosophy of like, if my lane is bad or something, I'm just gonna move. We saw that from the Ember Spirit game against OD, right? Where he made the rotation to kill the Doom. They brought like 4 heroes to kill the Doom, and he didn't get it. And they probably knew that was not gonna be a rotation that was guaranteed to get a kill.
Yeah, but I guess the difference here is that Ember Spirit is much different than this Invoker, as Cuckoo's trying to protect up this stack. Should be successful. I mean, it's a lot easier for him to trade out with his 3 levels of... Oh, hold that thought.
He's gonna get rolled on once again.
So done, buddy.
That is basically 5 heroes being there. Is the global Sunstrike with
That
4 other
counts.
heroes.
That counts.
So you're saying Gunnar should be chilling out in the mid lane. Like, this is not Ember Spirit, you move around, you just need to sit mid and farm.
What I'd like to do is tell him to send Nusha mid. Send Nusha mid and just jungle. I think
Okay.
that's what I would probably do. Normally you send like another core there, but I don't think any of the other cores can really do anything against this.
Yeah.
Like Envy probably doesn't want to be up here. If you're Envy, you want to play up in this like top jungle area and just farm this out repeatedly. Whereas like if you're Nusham, you can probably just like kick stones and stuff. Like I think Gunnar being here just sort of sucks for him. He's got 38 CS. Gabby's got 60 to his name.
But if you're Nusham, that's also maybe not like... If you're not worried about levels, that's also not where really you want to be. Oh, missed the roll. That is unfortunate.
Probably would have been the kill. Gets
They're
it.
keeping the Siege Wagon alive for the time being. Cuckoo healing up the wave. They're trying to get as
You need
much
all in for
damage
this
on this
mid tower.
tier 1.
Slash save it. Like we saw, especially in the OpenAI games. I mean, it's hard to glean from the hero pool, but the one thing that they did consistently well was take this mid tower. You know, they played 45,000 years of Dota to tell you guys that save mid tower at all costs.
Dude, they really did.
They
The
literally
tower
played
went
that
down
for
at
you.
like 28 minutes, I remember.
They were so good at that.
Yeah.
They did not care about anything. But 45,000 years of Dota, guys, to tell you, you pub players, save your mid tower.
Do not give up that tower.
Dude, Cuckoo's level 5 still. What am I watching? This is hilarious.
Dude, I hate offlane Necrophos. Ever since they changed the, they changed it so you have to go.
level
You have to go
Heartstopper.
Heartstopper Aura, but then it feels like your nuke doesn't do anything.
Watch out though, man. He's level 6 now.
It is a good hero versus troll though, right? It's you know, it's like the troll. It's kind of like playing against Doom, where you have to pop your ultimate.
Oh,
very
you saw that, by the
early.
way, mid? Nusham just popped his ulti.
I saw that.
Yeah. He just was like, I'm saving my mid tower at all costs. So he knows. By the way, I saw somebody in chat wonder why it was Nusham. That's how he prefers that's how he refers to himself.
As opposed to what?
Nusham.
Oh, Nusham? Are you
somebody
serious?
wanted us to say
Dude, if he
Nush-
told me to no, I want to be referred to as Nusham, I would tell him absolutely not. That name is garbage. Nusham. That sounds good. Nusham? Ugh.
We're not calling him Nusham, guys.
Gross.
Dude. This is a silver tiered necro.
Cuckoo has apparently gotten away with a lot better necro games in his pubs than this one right here. Otherwise,
the rest of his team's
he would have
owning,
not
so
asked for this.
are we really talking that?
That's true.
That
We're up
noise
2K
in?
right now, and Armel is on the hunt. The smoke is not gonna pop.
Let me tell you, I
But
think
at the same time, they're
the
not gonna
lead
run
might
into
be
heroes.
in part towards the other cores. Like this Monkey King being 5-0 with 100 CS.
Oh, they got him! Noosh him! They had the scan on Armel, drop him from the trees. We'll be able to hit him with the stun follow-up from
huge.
Brax. What a big kill, because that also completely stops the push from TNC. They were trying to set up to get that mid tower that you hold to such high esteem.
That was really well done. Like this. Okay, so first it was a really good move by Armel. Like the concept behind it, guys, is he spots the Invoker jungling, they collapse on him, they kill him, they take the tower, and now they just have this entire map to work with because they've already taken the top tier 1 and the bottom tier 1. Like this suddenly becomes, this triangle becomes theirs, and they could just place like one ward and invade, which is why they've already preset up the sentry here, up here earlier. So by taking that fight and being able to save that, like team, that's just good Dota. No lull NA Dota here.
Not yet, anyway. Still plenty of time for that, as Cuckoo is going to be saved here by AU. They do have that 6
Got ulti
energy, so
too.
Cuckoo is definitely going to be healed up, and they're going to try and chase down IX Mike. Nushim's still sticking around. Looks like he's going to try and continue to keep his ultimate on everybody, and he's doing a lot of damage, but Nushim is going to be saved by the Aphotic Shield that was stolen by Tims. The nuke, the Sunstrike, he does get it. Gunner gets the 1 kill out of that entire thing, but it was still 2 supports for 1 trade-off in that bottom lane, and now Gunner's actually going to be almost run down by Gabby. Alacrities himself and turns around.
Is this the play?
Okay, they're going to hit the stomp, but there's no way.
I
He was
can't
already
imagine.
morphing strength. This is not turning into anything.
Okay, well, at least they got him pretty low here, but I feel at bottom 2, the Necro probably could have canceled the TP on a Brax.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wanted to get the execute kill off, but Mike don't care. Dude, he's bootsless. This man has the budget. He's got the, what is it, like the discount boots. You know, the thrift store. You gotta
He's
win.
got the shoelaces, but he don't got the shoes. Come on, man.
My man's really living on a pipe dream. When you've got 2 clarities and like that's your significant item.
When you're so poor, you buy the shoelaces, you're like, someday I'm gonna have
layaway
shoes for
shoes.
these.
Come on, you're really getting value out of Necro ulting him? At least kill Brax.
TNC continues to try and assault that mid lane. They're gonna run into IX Mike here. Armel just getting a couple of swats at him, but nothing major. Again, trying to center these pushes. Oh, what a stop for Brax. A 2-man stop, a 3-man silence, a good kick, and a meteor follow-up as well. But Gabby will be able to wait for him out. Armel is dropping low, trying to get off his ultimate. He got rooted up by the troll and won't be able to get off that Wukong's man. He dies. Tims may fall as well, but a great stampede still. He gets caught by Brax and his CP, and Gabby thinking about coming in as that Earth Spirit clone.
And man, they just continue to defend that mid tower. That's the big part, is that Team has recognized the importance of saving it. So whenever TNC come in, you know, they're like, we're obliged. We'll take this fight. As now the silence, and that might have just been a suicide.
Oh, the save from the Oracle. Can he actually keep him healed up, though? He's already got 2 heals up on him, so it's going to be a significant amount of HP. And Cuckoo, no way. Cuckoo healed him, too. He got 3 different heals off.
The mass tip. That's the real sign of teamwork. Y'all don't need jerseys for that.
You know, I almost think AU I think he shouldn't have thrown out that 3rd heal. I think it was too close to the ultimate fading. I think he actually did damage.
2019 and mid Cuckoo.
Sunstrike, the roll in as well, and there is no save from the Oracle this time around. That long cooldown, they do manage to get the silence on him. The kick does not land.
There shouldn't really be a follow-up to this. Just take the tower. This is what TNC have committed for so hard, and it's in fact team just through the, you know, the idea of like, we're gonna defend and repel you enough times where if we catch core heroes, you're just gonna have to go back. It can't help right now that this like Necro offlane is 1-7-4.
Do you think the way that TNC, like, so both teams are putting a very heavy premium on that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yes.
We're saying this is the way you're supposed to play Dota. Do you feel like the way that TNC's very offensive approach to the tier 1 is important, we should take theirs. Do you think that's the wrong way about it? Or
No, I think it's the right idea. It was just that Armel death that really...
Yeah.
Because this is now their third time trying to make this exact same move. It's cost them like 2 smokes. It's cost them like 5 lives and a mid-tier 1 tower. All the while, Envy is farming this area. And the most important part of this too is that he was farming near these Ancients, which made it really easy for him to connect when his team decided to take a fight. And with the Centaur ulti, it makes your troll feel a lot better. Like you see that Envy, once he pushes out this top lane, he immediately comes back in. He pulls back to farm these waves, so that if TNC decide to take some sort of fight, he's not that far along. But
Yeah,
at the
he
same
can always
time,
be there, right?
he's getting ahead from being able to like Battle Fury farm up these neutrals.
Yeah.
So it's just like a good farming pattern, good farming recognition to stick around this area, protect this tower. It'll make your greedier lineup pay off in the long run. And you see that heat map, like after that bottom lane, he was just like, well, you know, screw it.
He had the laning phase, he had the taking tower phase, and then now we've kind of entered into his defensive positioning around that offlane jungle, protecting that mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, but it's like now dying to creeps is pretty funny. The creeps are doing better for them. But I need Cuckoo to really show this Necropix utility.
Yeah, because right now he's just getting blown up everywhere he goes. The Stampede goes off. Brax trying to get away from Armel. Armel will be able to catch him and gets a couple of shots out of him, but Mike will save him. Armel is going to turn and run into Nusham instead. Nusham kicks him away, rolls, but doesn't have a boulder for it, so Armel is going to be able to land right on top of him. Gets him again, and this time Mike will not be able to save Team. So good catch for TNC. Still down by 3K, but this could all turn around pretty quickly with Armel and his movement of the Monkey King. Plus, we've also, well, I guess it's kind of weird because we've got 2 pretty late game cores on both sides, right? We've got Morphling and Necrophos, who are naturally slower heroes, and then we've got Invoker and Troll on the other side.
Yeah, but when it comes to like actually starting fights, I think, so there is going late game, but more importantly, it's can you actually like deal your damage out? That's, I think, the most important part of Dota, is if you don't have a way to start fights, you really struggle. And right now, TNC's wave starting fights is, yo, Armel, like hop up on those trees and just like find people. It's not an ideal way to start fights. And so even though Team, they were behind in gold and stuff like that, their way of starting the fight is really simple. They can just frontline with Mike, as they're doing right now. I mean, he's got his ulti.
It's going to be forced out here, Armel. Thinking about the Wukong's command, it's going to be a little dangerous going up to the high ground, but they do it with confidence.
Okay, so now they'll take the mid tower. So 4th time's the charm.
And they...
Gunner's going to Sunstrike to make sure that they're not going for a Rosh right after, as you could do it at any point with your Morphling.
Yes.
So one of the best parts about having a Morphling on your side is this guy can just go to 500 HP, whack away at it. They're going to scan. They know that it's there. Brax is making his way up, but this might just be a little bit too late. They probably want to defend it, and they are going to smoke up for this. Next up in 10 seconds.
He's going to give them vision. They see that Roshan is low enough. They can definitely get there in time.
Okay, so they are going to make the defense of this, and now Envy's still smoked up with Gunner. They don't know. They're Alacrity
for
the
it.
Troll ulti.
The Troll ultimate goes off Armel. He immediately knows, but he can't actually get there in time. At least the rest of his team can't get there. Nusham's going to be pulled back by the telekinesis. They're going to try and go for this quick pick up.
Nice
what a jump in from Brax. Managed to hit their 3-man stun, the 2-man silence, the follow-up meteor. They are just blowing up heroes. Armel's already dead.
He's out of mana.
Taking so much damage. He's out of mana too. There is no way he survives through this. Even with the Oracle ultimate, there's no way. And Gunner, he's going to try and chase down AU for a 4th kill here. And AU actually does manage to dispel Gunner, but still going to be caught by that Ghost Walk. Slows it down with a good use of the disarm. That's a smart play, but again, nobody can really bail him out. He's doing so many cool little plays, but at the end of the day, you just have to feel like, man, it sucks you could do all that, but it's just inevitable you're going to die anyway.
They're going to get so much out of this, too. They can even push down, they can continue to push down towards top. Envy has Aegis. He doesn't really fear anything because they lack so much initiation.
Yeah.
The fact that they left the pit and they all just dispersed, they're like, oh, well, we're out of there.
Yeah. And considering how fast Troll can do it with Alacrity on him.
That was really decisive from Envy and Gunner. They just walk in, they're like, we're smoked. They have no idea.
Yeah.
It's banking a little on the fact that Armel's not just waiting in those trees, but because they were smoked, you know, it's like a perfect plan in a way. Their smoke doesn't break, so they know Armel's not there. And they do it so quick with Alacrity plus Troll ult. It's just good decisiveness. And then I think at that point, Armel was like, wait a second, we just left Roshan at like 3,000 HP.
Yeah,
what are we
hears
doing?
the Troll ultimate going off, and he's like, oh, crap.
Oh, look at mid now. Snooshem doesn't actually get the roll. Cuckoo does make it over that ridge with the Force Staff. And yeah, this just comes down to the fact that in the team fights, they just don't really have a way to initiate. It all comes down to Armel because this Necro is like very laning phase based.
Yeah.
His laning phase didn't go well, so now you have, you know, Necro with the Force Staff as your core, whereas we've seen how key Brax has been in this game. Despite Brax also having like a really tough laning phase, he just gets a Blink Dagger and he's good to go.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I mean, his deaths were also a trade-off every single time. Like, Brax could feel good about what he was doing, because every single time he was pulling Armel farther and farther away from the creep wave. So at least he could say, I'm getting mine, you're losing out on something. But the way they set it up for Necrophos, it just felt like Cuckoo was not getting anything out of it.
Because of the lack of the initiation, you're able to go high ground in 20 minutes. Normally, you're really afraid because there's some sort of instant stun that scares you, but in this game, no one really cares. So Team is going to get a free set of racks, which, you know, there's a Force Staff.
Offensive Force Staff is your second initiation. That does not sound great.
Yeah, and this scares Envy so little that you see him, he's doing something that's like pretty unthinkable for most trolls, is he's not even getting BKB.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys actually have 0 stuns. I figured it out. You guys have no stuns. You can't initiate on me and blow me up instantly. Let me just pick up the Satanic and I'll be unkillable. And he's right. He's absolutely correct.
TNC gotta figure a way out of this hole and fast, because it doesn't look like Team are really gonna let up whatsoever. They are just kind of moving mostly as a team all to bottom lane and looking to take the next round of objectives. It's only Ike's Mike who will stay at the top half of the map, and that's just purely for him to pick up the bounty runes.
Yeah. For me, I know I said it earlier, but I really want to just reiterate. It was the mid defense.
Yeah.
That's just like a good team play that team made. They're just making like good decisive moves. They're not really doing the NA Dota thing where everyone's like an NPC and they just hit neutral creeps for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like neutral creeps with a purpose. I'm okay with that. You hit neutral creeps, you come defend mid tower. It's good play by Envy. You got to give him props. He's played this game very well.
I mean, he was probably also the one who made such a decisive call for Roshan.
Yes,
right?
that's definitely an
like
Envy
if you've
thing.
ever played with Envy, he makes
Get Roche.
get Roche. He wants you to do things very clearly and very quickly. And now they're going to go high ground again. Hitting on a tier 3 TNC.
Stop him. He still has 8. You gave this Aegis to him. The Force Staff in from Cuckoo again. Like, that's their initiation at this point, and that's sad.
They almost managed to take away that Aegis.
Okay, for some reason, he got healing salved. I think that's Mike's. So, you know, I laughed at him for his net worth, but, you know, this is value healing salve. And they're going to get the Shrine instead after picking up the tier 3 tower mid.
He must, I guess it just kind of leached from Solo, because Solo does it all the time when he's playing Oracle, but now maybe it's just like the thing, the 5 positions just
the jump in
carry
from
more and
Nushem.
more healing salves.
They're so farmed right now. Nushem almost has...
When Nushem tries to make that kind of initiation and he's like over 2,000 units from his team, you know?
Yeah.
That just goes to show he's not scared of anything. TNC. I mean, did we, like, were we both kind of leaning towards Team's draft?
To be honest, if I'm like, I don't want to lie. I think that I felt like TNC was going to win. Because I felt like 2 of their 3 lanes were just going to dominate. I just didn't think that... I guess what I always forget is the lanes matter, yes, but like what OG proves is like you need team fight. And you need the ability to start a fight. Like that's one of my favorite things. I think I tell you all the time too, is like I always value the team that should be able to start a fight.
Yeah.
'Cause it doesn't really matter how many cores you have and how well they did if they don't actually get the opportunity to output any damage.
See, that's why I thought we both liked, that's why I just assumed that we both liked Team's lineup.
I
know we're both Necro offlane haters, and...
I definitely am a Necro offlane hater, but I felt like Morph was going to crush mid, which he did. And I felt like top was also going to stomp, and most of the time, if you can win 2 out of 3 lanes in Dota decisively, you're okay. I just don't want to lie to the audience and be like, yeah, I knew the entire time, guys. I don't want to pull a Kyle on you and try to, like, scam you. I was just straight up
Always
wrong.
be able to come up with a reason why you knew that X team was gonna win.
I ain't pulling a Kyle and giving you guys Johns. You know, I'll just tell you straight up that I thought TNC was gonna win, but you have to give credit to how Team is played. I think a lot of people in Dota sometimes, like even me, I'll be negative about it and be like, man, that Necro picked through, but like they played well. Like Team, the Roshan move, the 3 defenses mid, like they did sick. They made sick plays.
Okay, so just to reemphasize, you don't think it's a draft problem? Because
I think it's both.
Okay.
Like in hindsight, I can tell you that for sure. But it'd just be disingenuous for me to lie and say like, oh yeah, you know, team, NA Dota all the way. It was the moves mid probably made a bigger impact than the draft, I think.
Yeah.
Because that threw away all of their advantage. But that, you know, you can give team credit for that too, right? We can give a team credit for making a good play just as much as we can for somebody throwing it. So in mid lane, they're just kind of scouting things out. I think they need to get some more vision down around this area. But you just don't feel comfortable going as 3 or anything like that. You have to pretty much make any move that you're going to make as 5.
Right.
You see Gunnar, by the way, really recovered since the laning phase, 8-2 and 5. So they're going to play sentries mid.
BKB.
Mike just going to walk in.
Takes your ward. Gets out. Pops the ultimate just as he sees the big nuke coming in from Gabby.
Pretty much daring Cuckoo. He's like, just ult me again, dude.
Yeah.
See how that goes. And Cuckoo's only kills are on Mike this game. The 2 Necro ults he had.
Yeah.
Does not feel good.
No, not at all.
I have a small feeling that Mike's gonna die again to Necro ult.
Yeah. Or maybe they don't need it. Cuckoo's like, no, I've got bigger ideas in mind. He was hoping to be able to grab somebody else. Unfortunately, Nusham did manage to slip away into the night. 30-minute bounty runes are spawning, and that's why TNC pushed out like that.
Yeah. I just noticed, by the way, Cuckoo and Eternal Envy are 28 and 28 against each other. Well, now we know that Mike was the tiebreaker. Like,
Power Mike. Still best of 3 though. We'll see whether or not this ends up going to a 30th win for one of these 2 captains.
imagine. No, actually, somebody has to take a lead. I was gonna say because most of the time I'm used to these like group stages being 2-game series.
2-game series. We've had so many tournaments set up like that lately.
I love best of 3s.
You want a decisive winner, and more importantly, you want a decisive loser, don't you?
Mm-hmm. The spirit of competition. Also, Envy's got a blade mail, which I noticed, but
Yeah.
was kind of like contemplating, I guess, is the best way. As Sunstrike mid, Gabby will be just fine. They're gonna reset off of that.
I don't think I've ever seen somebody get
Like the 4th item
a
blade.
5, the 5,000 gold item, and let me go back for that 2,000 gold item. You know?
EG did it when they played against VP, when
Yeah,
he had Sniper.
Sniper. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that game that I saw that, but most of the time, this is like a poverty item. Like, I'm real poor.
Yeah.
What do I've got like 3,000 gold, no buyback. What do I buy?
So you only so in this case, he's just doing it because the shotgun into Reaper Scythe.
Oh,
is
don't lose this
waiting.
fight, team. This is the only way they can lose, is through a sloppy Roshan fight as Envy.
Oh, nice Yules. Necro gonna try and get out of here. He's already been silenced up. He's gonna be saved by the Oracle, but that means there's no save for Armel, but maybe he doesn't need it. He has his own BKB, and is just trying to run around inside his own Wukong's command. Managed to disjoint Eternal.
The Morpher's dying so fast.
The Morphling, he almost died there, but does manage to get a little bit of save. He's got the silence on him. Yule's Scepter goes down into a Sunstrike. Stun. No, they missed the stun. Nusham whiffs it entirely. The Morphling managed to get up into the high ground. Meanwhile, they're still fighting inside that river. Looks like the Morphling is trying to get away from Gunnar, but he just can't slip away fast enough. Eternal Envy will catch him
They're just
eventually.
gonna call it.
And that is going to be your GG. Team will manage to win the fight around the Roshan pit. And don't need to claim the Roshan. TNC just call it here. And it's felt like, I mean, after the first, as you said, that mid defense, like the 3rd mid defense in a row, it felt like TNC kept on trying to push every 5.
It really
every
felt
siege
like-
wagon push they tried to put.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of like Chinese teams against OG at TI when OG would do their Treant strat.
Yeah,
They would just keep
yeah.
debating you with like a 100 HP mid-tier 1 tower. And it just like, I remember the game, I think it was against like LGD, and it just broke them. They're like, why is this tower not dying? And
Yeah.
I think this game had 2 issues. It was one, the fact that they just got worked whenever they tried to go for the mid tower. Really good positioning by all of Team. And 2, the Roshan thing is whatever. I feel like at that point, once they failed the mid so many times, they were going to lose this game. 2 is the decision to draft this offlane Necro. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure the panel's going to talk about it, but those were like the 2 salient points for me.
Yeah.
The mid fights and the offlane Necro.
All right, where does TNC go from here? You've heard our suggestions. Now to hear from the panel.